Good afternoon, everyone. Let me just check to make sure that we are on. It appears that we are. All right. Just want to do a little weather update with you this afternoon. I know you've probably gotten the alert, severe thunderstorm warning. We actually now have a flash flood warning as well for parts of Madison County. I hope everyone can hear me. It looks like we're all good here. So we're just going to jump right into it. I want to get to 31 triple Doppler and just kind of show you what we are looking at right now here across the area. Again, there is a severe thunderstorm warning that does remain in effect for Madison and parts of Morgan County. That current warning is in effect for primarily a damaging wind threat. That would be the main concern. This is a summertime storm setup. It's a pretty big storm. It's covering a lot of distance here. Reported a tree knocked down in northwest Huntsville around Oakwood Road and Bethany Lane. And we also have a flash flood warning that is in effect as a result of this storm moving on through, as it is a very, very slow mover. Let me zoom in a little closer here and we'll kind of show you the extent of this. We are getting some additional development out towards the Gurley area. The storm over Huntsville and back into Madison, as I put it into motion, you are going to notice that let me do this for the last 30 minutes. Kind of raining itself out. That in and of itself, when the storm collapses, can produce some strong wind. And that may be part of the reason why we are seeing that in some areas. You do see heavy storm activity, though, heading over. There you see the severe thunderstorm warning going away here as of 2:15. So flash flood warning remains in effect here across the area. So there's going to be a few hazards out of these storms this afternoon. This one that really developed right over Huntsville. In fact, I'll show you how it, just in the last hour, what this did, popping up over the area. It went from, and let me stop this here. This is where we were an hour ago. Not much out there. This was at 1:17. We had a couple of individual heavier showers, one near Princeton and Jackson County. We had the other one north of Huntsville along the Parkway up towards Meridianville, Hazel Green area. And then we had another cell that was right over Madison. And again, within the span of just an hour, this completely filled in. There we see it. This was about 30 minutes ago. This is when the storm was producing a lot of lightning out across University Drive, 565 area towards Research Park, approaching the downtown area. The storm continued to fill in and expand, and then starting around 2 o'clock began, although it's still widespread rainfall, began losing some of the intensity. And then here's where we stand right now. So again, the severe thunderstorm warning has come and gone. There is a flash flood warning, though, that does remain in place right now for a fairly large area. This is going to include much of the city of Madison, in fact, most all of it, except for the part of Madison that it resides over there in East Limestone. The Arsenal included in this, downtown Huntsville, parts of southeast Huntsville also included in the flash flood warning. That is the green box that you see there across portions of Madison County. So in addition to that severe threat, which appears to have come and gone, and again, just seeing one report of a tree down, again, in North Huntsville, in the vicinity of Oakwood Road, Bethany Lane. And it does say a tree was knocked down, so it didn't just say tree limbs down, nothing like that. So this was a full-on tree that came down. Don't know size of the tree, nothing like that. We don't have that information. So at least some strong wind occurred with this storm as it moved on through. And again, that severe thunderstorm warning was allowed to expire at 2:15. Just checking out some of the latest info here. Also got a report of some pea-sized hail. Hail's not going to be a big concern. Again, it's going to be heavy rain, it is going to be lightning, and it's going to be the possibility for strong wind gusts out of these storms moving on through. And again, they're going to be pretty slow movers. They are drifting kind of off to the south and to the east, but not moving at a fairly fast clip. So at this point, just a strong thunderstorm that is over portions of Madison County. We are seeing actually the heaviest of the rainfall out towards Gurley in eastern Madison County right now. Storm is only developing or propagating to the southeast at around 10 miles per hour. So again, this is going to be a slow mover. Likely what is going to happen, the part of the storm that is here kind of raining itself out over the Arsenal, South Madison, south of 565 towards the Triana area, probably going to fizzle out, and we may see additional storms kind of form along or just ahead of where this storm is kind of fading right now. So I don't think this is going to maintain itself. It is still producing some lightning. Again, primarily right over the Arsenal. That's where it's most significant. Let me kind of show you the Arsenal here area. Highlight Research Park Boulevard, which is right here. So this is all Arsenal that's being primarily impacted by lightning and heavy rainfall right now. But again, even that's starting to fade a little bit. We've got heavier rain, which is now over here, headed over Cecil Ashburn, going over Green Mountain into the Hampton Cove area. And some of the heaviest rain here near the Eastern Bypass, Governor's 431, whatever you want to call it there in Hampton Cove. So the Eastern Bypass, 431 area, McMullen Cove, headed over towards Gurley. This is Highway 72. There's Gurley right here. And then other heavy storms do extend across the county line east of Gurley from Madison on into Jackson County. Again, nothing that is severe out of this. But very heavy rainfall, and we will have to monitor for perhaps some additional flooding concerns. Again, no reports of any of that right now. But there is a flash flood warning that is in effect. Let me see how long this goes for. This goes until 3:45 for areas of Madison County. But again, no reports of any flooding at this point in time. It's being passed along to us. I'll show you the wider view here. It's mostly what we've got going on. Limited shower activity for you folks out towards the shoals. There are some, I'll say some stronger thunder showers south of Double Springs, but again, the motion on everything, as I put everything in motion here, off to the south and to the east. So slow movement there. You see things a little more concentrated, a little more widespread in coverage through portions of eastern Tennessee. So here across North Alabama, it's actually kind of sporadic right now. Huntsville, Madison, yeah, got hit pretty hard. Heavy rainfall and again some strong wind gusts, but minimal impacts other than that. And again, we're just going to have to keep an eye on additional areas of thunderstorm development that will likely take place here through the afternoon hours. We do remain under a low-end severe weather risk. This is a severe weather outlook for today. It was expanded here from what it was first thing this morning to basically cover all of North Alabama and southern Middle Tennessee for the possibility for some stronger storms. Honestly, it's not a whole lot of a different setup than what we've had here in recent days, where we have had to pop up showers and storms, packing a punch. This is very typical of summertime. I think the reason for the marginal severe weather outlook that came out today is just that the extent of storms was likely to be a little bit more substantial across the area. So the coverage a little bit higher chance that you're going to get hit by a stronger thunderstorm a little bit higher than in recent days. So that's really the only reason, I think, for the severe weather outlook today. Not necessarily because we're talking about a heightened risk of severe weather, nothing like that. And again, these are your summertime variety of thunderstorms coming on through. They're going to dump some heavy rain. They are going to produce again, some frequent lightning, maybe some gusty wind as well. Looks like we don't have rainfall estimate. Okay, there we go. So this is some of the estimated rainfall by radar over the last hour. And you see, again, right in the vicinity of the Arsenal. And where some of the highest totals are. Let me show you some of those readings. So about 2 inches in the last hour. Again, right along 565. There near Research Park Boulevard over the Arsenal. That's kind of where that bullseye is of heavier rainfall. You get away from that. You get out here towards the Zert Road area in Madison. Totals there, only around an inch. You actually get into the center of Madison, around the Hughes Road area, and only about 1/10 of an inch as estimated by radar. So again, flash flood warning, yes, covers a fairly expansive area in Madison County. Where it is of greatest potential actually looks to be in the vicinity of the Arsenal. That's where the heaviest of the precip is right now. So again, that's kind of your radar estimate, that bullseye right over the Arsenal, pretty much, 565 area, towards Bridge Street. Again, about 2 inches of rainfall as estimated by radar in about an hour's time. So that's enough to cause some minor flooding, some street flooding. You know, you're not likely talking about, major stream or creek flooding in this sort of situation unless it was continued to rain significantly in the same area, but it appears that we are not headed down that road as the rain lightening up, still coming down, but again, we are starting to see it lighten up. So even though, yes, we have this huge flash flood warning area drawn up, probably got the alert on your phone if you have the alert set up to come through from the Way 31 Storm Tracker weather app. I'm sure you got that. I know I got that on my phone. The flash flood warning, so that yes, that includes us up here on Montesano. No, I'm not concerned on top of Montesano that we're going to experience any flooding. But again, I would say in the vicinity there, the Arsenal, Bridge Street, Space and Rocket Center, that's kind of where the heaviest of the rain did fall. So if there's going to be any flooding, that's where it's going to happen. It's not likely to be drawn out over an extended period of time, as again, the storm has kind of fallen apart. So mostly just some moderate to a few pockets of some heavier rain that is falling there in the flash flood warning area, but again, starting to see that ease up just a little bit. Heaviest storm activity, again, right now is eastern Madison County. Again, we are talking around the Hampton Cove, Owens Crossroads area, over towards Gurley. There is nothing severe at the moment out of this, but there is heavy rain coming on down, so that may cause some ponding of water on the roadways, so just be aware of that. If you had plans to maybe travel along Highway 72 here, eastern Madison into western Jackson County in the next little bit. Again, similar story in and around the Hampton Cove, Owens Crossroads, Big Cove area. Again, very heavy rainfall is coming through right now. And again, slow moving. This may not hold together indefinitely, but tracking it off to the south and to the east here over the next 30 minutes. This will just kind of give you a little bit of an estimate as to when some of these heavier downpours may be moving through your location. Madison County Nature Trail there on top of Green Mountain coming in here in the next 5 minutes. Paint Rock area by 235, Owens Crossroads proper. Again, that would be kind of in the center of town there that you get to along 431, around 241. If you know where the elementary school is there, again, right off of 431, coming in around that time as well, so about 14, 15 minutes. That's when the heavier stuff, if it holds together, would make it into that area. Poplar Ridge by 255 and into the Woodville area in Jackson County around 256 or so. Again, this is kind of building off to the south and east. Nothing severe out of this, but you know what? My experience is a day where you have a marginal risk and you get one severe thunderstorm warning, you can anticipate there may be more that are issued. So again, at the moment, nothing severe thunderstorm warning wise, but it is going to be something that we'll keep an eye on. As far as wind goes, pocket of strongest wind is showing up here again in the Hampton Cove area, right here. We may be talking about some wind gust here, maybe 30 miles per hour, perhaps a little bit stronger. Again, this is right where the Publix, New Whataburger is, going down 431, if you're over towards the Taylor Road area and some of the neighborhoods there. Again, this is where we're picking up the strongest wind out of this area of storms right now. But again, not severe wind, 30 mile per hour perhaps, maybe a little bit stronger than that. And there you see the latest update. It's kind of moved on a little bit, moved on down the road, down 431, shifting just a little bit, of course, with the movement of the storm activity. And we'll show you the latest update there. There you see the latest scan update here with 31 triple Doppler. Again, the heaviest storm activity there in eastern Madison County, near and north of Owens Crossroads, back towards Gurley, and into the Paint Rock Valley there in Jackson County. Looks like we get another strong storm developing west of Scottsboro. And then, as I mentioned a little bit ago, the activity dying over Madison County. We may see some new developments kind of right along that dying activity or just ahead of it. And it looks like we're getting that, kind of a flare up here, eastern Morgan County, stretching from Priceville, Somerville area towards Lacey Springs. So if you're over here, let's say in eastern Morgan County, say in this part of Morgan County here, expect things probably going to get a little bit more active. It also includes you in northwestern portions of Marshall County there, northwestern Union Grove. So this could be the next area where we see things kind of flare up just a little bit. You know, severe thunderstorm warning, not out of the question. Definitely some heavy rain and some frequent lightning here. So again, this is kind of where the worst of it is. If you're out here towards the Shoals, you know, nothing too terrible. Out towards Cherokee, got a couple downpours. Waterloo, Florence, Muscle Shoals, you're doing okay right now. We take into Franklin County. Looks like one cloud of ground lightning strike there just outside of Russell Wilfield Campbell. Again, nothing crazy here at the moment. Storm's a little bit more concentrated there in Winston County, but again, pushing away from us. So at least here in North Alabama, most of the action kind of focused around Jackson, Madison, and Morgan counties at the moment. Again, our concern is going to be heavy rain. In some cases, perhaps some frequent lightning, and maybe some gusty wind. That would be, the gusty wind is what would prompt any sort of severe thunderstorm warnings. Slow moving nature of the storms, if they were to sit over the same place or kind of back build over the same locations, again, we'd have to worry about some flooding. We do that flash flood warning for parts of Madison County, but I know that goes until 3:45. Unless we get some reports of some flooding, that flash flood warning that you see drawn there, that does include the city of Huntsville and pretty much all the city of Madison, probably will need to be canceled before that 3:45 expiration time. As again, the rain's really lightened up, fallen apart. Heavier stuff has now developed kind of on the outskirts of where that original big thunderstorm was over parts of West Huntsville and over the city of Madison. Let me do a quick check here, social media-wise, where we are streaming. I just want to remind you, if you're watching us here on social, we're also live streaming on our news and weather apps, website as well, whenever we do these break-ins for this. But let me take a look here. Some comments. We also live stream on YouTube, if you're not aware of that. I know a lot of people are not. Way 31 has a YouTube page. We actually have quite a few subscribers there. And whenever we are live, we are on YouTube as well. Checking out the Way Facebook page. See what we got here. Just some folks checking in from different places, where they're at. I'll give a shout out to Cater, Huntsville, Arab checking in, Russellville, Fort Payne, Florence, Dutton, College Station, Texas checking in, Gurley checking in. That's where some of the worst of the stuff is right now in the Gurley area, Grove Oak as well checking in this afternoon. And again, I'll take a look here YouTube wise. Live on YouTube. No one really checking in here. Again, that's kind of a, I don't want to say it's one of our bigger secrets. But you know, we are on YouTube. Don't have a lot of people watching right now there. But given that a lot of folks are now doing a lot of streaming, and YouTube is a big platform that's taking up a big chunk of that streaming, we are there as well. We're really trying, you know, to meet you where you are. I know not everyone can sit down in front of the TV. Not everyone even has access to local television anymore. If you don't have an over-the-air antenna, or you don't have cable or satellite service. I know a lot of you have cut the cord, completely understand why. So we are trying to be wherever you are. And right now that's a very fractured audience. People are lots of different places getting their news and weather information. Obviously, I hope you're getting it from us. And certainly if we are not your preferred source, I hope that we are and can be, but I hope that you are at least getting your information from reputable sources. There's a lot of, how do I want to say this politely, there's a lot of weather garbage out there. A lot of people that are posting and sharing outlandish weather situations simply for money. Obviously, we are doing it to pass along information and trying to do that in a credible way. All right, let me reset the view here, kind of show you what we got going on. Again, we've got some storms that have popped this afternoon. You likely were alerted in Huntsville and in Madison for severe thunderstorm warning that was out a short time ago. It came out about an hour or so ago. It has come and gone. We've got some rain that's holding on in parts of Huntsville, over the Arsenal, back towards Madison, but the storm that prompted a severe thunderstorm warning has really kind of come and gone at this point in time. We do have some other strong storms showing up across the area, nothing that is severe at the moment, but if you are over in eastern Madison County, centered around the Gurley area, back towards Owens Crossroads, if you're in western Jackson County, Paint Rock, Woodville area, we've got some heavier storms for you, non-severe. And if you're in Morgan County, again, seeing activity kind of flaring up just a little bit here. East of 65 there, Morgan County. Elsewhere, things are relatively quiet here across most of North Alabama. Flash flood warning is in effect here for Madison County. That goes until, I believe, 3:45. I think it'll probably be canceled before then. No reports of flooding. The rain's really kind of fizzled out here in this area, so I'm not sure that that flash flood warning really needs to be maintained at this point in time. We did get radar estimates of about 2 inches of rainfall, kind of centered in the vicinity of the Arsenals, U.S. Space and Rocket Center, Bridge Street area. That's kind of where the core of the heaviest rain was showing up this afternoon in those areas. Let's see, a few other people checking in here. Scottsboro, Athens, Mercedes mentioning lightning and raining in South Huntsville near Cheney Thompson. And again, in Madison County, kind of the worst of the weather is here over Montesano. We're kind of zoomed in here. This is the Hampton Cove area, 431. Head west of 431 there. You get Cecil Ashburn going over Green Mountain into the Jones Valley area. You head east, you're on the Eastern Bypass, which takes you through McMullen Cove, and then dumps you out over there towards Gurley if you follow that road all the way around. So again, Gurley area, Cherry Tree, down towards Owens Crossroads is kind of the worst of it in Madison County. Mostly a lot of heavy rain, although you do see that there are some clouded ground lightning strikes. Those are the little lightning bolt symbols that you see there, but I wouldn't say this is necessarily a prolific lightning producer at this point in time. And then over here in Jackson County around Paint Rock, again, we've got some heavier rainfall. Slow movement on this activity, so again, once you get caught underneath it, it'll take a little bit of time before it rains itself out. Kind of track it here. Again, this is kind of the worst of the current activity. This is out over the next 30 minutes. If you're down towards New Hope, unless you get some new development there, this current activity to your north is probably going to stay just mostly off to your north and east, at least the worst of the stuff. And as I say that, latest scan coming around showing a shower developing right over New Hope. So again, that's kind of what we're going to be looking at. We're going to get some of these showers and storms come through, pack a bit of a punch, die out. Other activity develops in the relatively, very unstable and undisturbed atmosphere outside of this. So this activity in eastern Madison, southwest Jackson County right now, again, might hold together another 30 minutes, continue tracking to the south and to the east, so that will take it again towards the Woodville area here in the next 20 minutes or so. Poplar Ridge around 306. But again, already maybe starting to see signs that even this activity is beginning to fade a little bit. Although Poplar Ridge looks like a new flare-up of a shower for you. And again, New Hope, we've got something that's just popped on radar. So, you know, these are not storms that are going to sustain themselves. They're going to develop. They're going to blow up quick. They're going to dump very heavy rainfall. They're going to die out. New storms will develop kind of in the vicinity of the old ones to kind of take their place, really more of a, instead of a storm moving from point A to point B, this whole area of rain and storms just kind of propagating along. Let's see. Looks like we have seen one report of some street flooding, southbound lanes of Sparkman Drive on the UH campus. Again, so that would have been in the vicinity of that bullseye of the heaviest rainfall there, stretching from the Arsenal to Bridge Street to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, and looks like over towards the campus of UH. Estimated about 6 inches of water on the roadways there around the campus of UH. So again, street flooding, you know, that's due to the very heavy rain that came on down, as well as, you know, maybe some poor drainage conditions there. You never know exactly what the root cause is. New severe thunderstorm warning is out now for this cluster of storms that is developing in the vicinity of Fayetteville, really a little southeast of Fayetteville, Fayetteville, Tennessee, not included, but southeast Lincoln County, northeast Madison County, included in this severe thunderstorm warning. General idea is that this activity that right now just on radar doesn't look like much, but in the process of growing. I'll loop it over the last 15 minutes. You can see a quick flare up here southeast of Fayetteville. That's what it looked like 15 minutes ago, is what it looks like now. So quick development here, southeast Fayetteville towards Flintville. And again, this will likely continue to build and grow in intensity, likely expanding in coverage with heavy rain, frequent lightning. Then it may produce some gusty wind, and then it's likely going to die out. But just be aware if you're over here towards Newmarket, if you are over towards Huntland, Tennessee, they're in western Franklin County, Tennessee. This is all kind of building in your direction. So this is a new severe thunderstorm warning. Again, our flash flood warning here in parts of Madison County, parts of Huntsville, back to Madison. Looks like mostly just some street flooding. So this is not, I have some opinions about flash flood warnings, especially in light of course, what happened in Texas. All flash flood warnings are not created equal. Let's just say that. And this is not likely to be high impact flooding that's going to occur. This is just going to be some street flooding concerns. And even that has probably peaked and come and gone as the rain has really slacked up and things are draining rather steadily at this point in time. And there's no more heavy rain coming on in. But again, nonetheless, flash flood warning does continue here for portions of Madison County. Again, our heavier storm activity in the Gurley vicinity near Poplar Ridge. Also over towards Paint Rock, Woodville. Again, heavy rainfall here. Poor drainage areas. Yes, there could be some flooding. Smaller streams and creeks. Yes, they could fill up. Those are usually the first to do so. So just be aware of that. But again, starting to see some improvement here. The intensity beginning to let up just a little bit. I won't say it's light rain at this point in time. It's still coming down moderate to heavy, but not quite as heavy as it was a short time ago. And again, watching over here into parts of Morgan County, Somerville to just west of Lacey Spring, where we do have some heavier thunderstorm activity as well. I'm just going to look at a few other pieces of data here. There's usually one key thing to look at on the radar that usually precedes a severe thunderstorm warning being issued. Right now, not seeing that in Morgan County, so I don't think we have a severe thunderstorm warning imminent there with this activity in Morgan County. Similar situation over here in Madison County. I'm checking out some other data that's coming through. In fact, you can see the rain. Latest scan here has kind of let up just a little bit. So at the moment, I don't anticipate any other imminent severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got the one here in Lincoln County, northeast Madison County. Get another look here, and you can see that kind of as expected. This activity has expanded a little bit. Let me track it. Again, slow movement southeast. This is what we got going on right now. Keep in mind this may continue to expand a little bit. And as this kind of drifts southeastward, bringing it into Flintville here in momentarily. The Vantown area, 301, Elora, Tennessee, around 325. The Plevna Elementary School, northeast Madison County, coming in around 328. So some of this has not been ideal for school letting out across parts of the area as well. So again, severe thunderstorm warning here. This is going to be through the possibility of perhaps some strong wind gusts that maybe could be upwards of 40, 50, maybe 60 miles per hour, along with heavy rainfall, frequent lightning as well, and some small hail, some pea-sized hail not out of the question out of all this activity coming on through. Again, just kind of resetting things here. This is your severe weather risk area today. Level 1 marginal risk, not expecting this is going to be extensive, high impact sort of severe weather activity It is going to be there. We will have storms, and again, some of these may pack a little bit of a punch, could get a little rowdy in spots, but no widespread, high impact sort of severe weather is expected. This would be just kind of localized, strong and severe thunderstorm activity moving on through. Primarily daytime heat driven, so a lot of this is going to die out as we head into the evening hours. Just want to show you a look at future radar as well while we continue to give you some radar updates here. Not going to nail the details, never does, let's be honest. But what it does, it tells us the trend. Has difficulty resolving individual thunderstorms, at least where they are going to be at any given point in time. But again, what this does show us, you can see the activity. It's going to be likely with us through late afternoon. So here's 5 o'clock. We've still got at least the potential. 7 o'clock this evening, starting to see things wind down. Might still have a couple pockets of heavier showers and storms. 9, 10 o'clock tonight, it's a done deal. Let me take you into tomorrow. This will actually be my first check of this update. And tomorrow looks much less active. We do have, I hesitate to call it a cold front, but we do have a little bit of a change in the weather, a little bit of a push of slightly drier air, just a touch lower temperature coming in for Thursday. So not much in terms of active weather Thursday, and then this time of year, these boundaries, if they do make it into North Alabama, they don't make it very far through the area. They kind of hang around. So I think we're kind of seeing that on Friday, that boundary lingering, and maybe the focus for a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity Friday afternoon. Nothing that looks too crazy at this point in time. So again, there's the wide view of the radar. Gonna just do another round here, checking out the comments. Let's see what the new comments are. On report from Rachel, just a little storm in Owens Crossroads. Yeah, there's nothing crazy, and it's actually kind of dying out here. Had pouring rain in Princeton, Alabama, about half an hour ago. Rita wanted to know about Priceville. So let's take a look at Priceville. Most everything is east and south of Priceville right now. So there you see Priceville on the map. They're along I-65 and Alabama Highway 67. So everything is a little south and east of there. So an update on Priceville. The heavier stuff is to your south and east and moving away. And outside of Priceville, towards southeast Limestone County, just some lighter showers here. So I don't see anything, at least here short term, to be concerned about if you're in Priceville. In eastern Morgan County, a little bit more active on the radar. The activity over eastern Madison, western Jackson County, kind of dying out. We'll see if we do see here in northern Marshall County. This may be the next area of development, potentially. If you're Gunnersville northward, back towards Arab, perhaps. I'll wait and see what this dying activity does over Madison County, if that provides just a little bit of lift into the atmosphere downstream to help new development here in Marshall County. So that remains to be seen if that will happen. That is definitely within the realm of possibility. Northern Jackson County continues to get a little bit more active. I mentioned Princeton. Someone had mentioned the downpours in Princeton. Right now, everything kind of north and east of there currently. And then west of Stevenson, northern Jackson County, we've got a little bit of a pickup in shower and some thunder shower activity there over the higher terrain there, just outside of Stevenson. And again, severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect here for southeast Lincoln County in Tennessee, approaching the Flintville area and getting pretty close to the border, moving into northern parts of Madison County. So still, if you're toward Hazel Green, especially up closer to the state line, things are a little bit more active there. If you're in the New Market area, we'll wait and see if this continues to hold together. Again, if there's any severe weather, it would be for some strong wind gust. And of course, we have the heavy rain and the frequent lightning as well. Just checking out some other info. No new reports have come on in. We do have an update here from the Storm Prediction Center. Let me put myself back up on camera. I know you've heard me a lot, you've not seen me. We do have another setup here where I could do myself in one window and the radar in the other, but I can't find that right offhand, so I'll stick with what I know at the moment. So this is in regards to if there's going to be any sort of weather watch issued right now. It appears the answer is no. The probability of a watch being issued for northeast Alabama is only 5%. So, but I'll just kind of read you the discussion here, what Storm Prediction Center is saying. Mentioning a cluster of storms that's developed across southeast Tennessee. I mentioned those a little bit earlier in our coverage. Things were kind of a little bit more widespread and a little more impactful there. As those storms move south, the environment ahead of those remains favorable for more storm activity. The wind shear, they're pretty weak, which is why these storms are having trouble staying organized. When you got a decent amount of wind shear, of course, that can do a lot of things, including increase the tornado threat. But that wind shear is often what allows storms to maintain themselves instead of popping up real fast, dumping heavy rain, producing some wind, and then kind of fading out. So the lack of wind shear is kind of why we're seeing the storms behaving as they are right now. So talking because of the weak shear, the storms are going to remain mostly unorganized, but may have some strong outflow winds. The stronger cores, stronger storms will support the threat for what we call microburst. But it appears that the threat is not high enough or extensive enough that, that they're going to be looking at putting out a watch. So if there's some good news, it's that, is that it just doesn't appear the atmosphere is going to be set up to have sustained severe weather this afternoon. It's going to be kind of what we've got out there right now. Limited potential, localized wind gust, and perhaps some localized flooding rainfall that comes on through. Another report of a tree down, Rochelle Drive Northwest, here in Madison County. So a couple reports of some trees down from earlier, and just that one report is some street flooding around UAH. With the rain a little bit earlier today that moved through Huntsville. Again, this is our severe thunderstorm warning that we currently have in place here for southern Middle Tennessee, for Lincoln County. Quick look here. Let me take a look. We got any strong wind signatures showing up? Nothing too terrible that I'm seeing wind-wise. We got the heavy rain around Bellevue, Flintville area, New Hope, Tennessee. This is in Lincoln County. We do have a second New Hope in our coverage area, but this is in Lincoln County, Tennessee. And again, this is kind of approaching the state line. So again, if you're north of Hazel Green up towards Tennessee border, traveling 231 in that direction, you're going to run into some pretty heavy rainfall around Bellevue. which, you know, go across the state line, you've got all the convenience stores there selling lottery tickets. They're on 231 heading up towards Park City, Fayetteville, Tennessee. That's kind of where the heaviest stuff is right now there in Lincoln County, extending towards Flintville. And again, National Weather Service did put out a severe thunderstorm warning for that growing area of storms. Right now, I would say the greatest threat for anything severe is going to be right in this zone. So again, right there along the state line. If there's any potential for some strong wind to come out of that, right now that appears to be where the greatest threat would be. It's also where the heaviest rain is, and the lightning's a little bit more concentrated. So I would say out of that severe thunderstorm warning area, this is at least short term where the greatest risk of any potential severe weather would be. So just keep that in mind here north of Hazel Green. Also see, looks like we got a lightning bolt, not even raining there along 231. You hear about that when we talk about a bolt from the blue. Doesn't always have to be raining in your location for lightning to strike. So again, lightning detection indicating a lightning strike right here in Hazel Green and right along 231. Again, a bit removed from where we actually have storm activity there around the state line. Rain has pretty much wound down for most of Madison and Huntsville, except again for the Arsenal. Still some light rain showing up here. That flash flood warning does remain in effect. I believe that goes until 3:45. But only the one report is some street flooding around UAH that I have seen. And again, that threat for additional flooding subsiding. So that flash flood warning will either be allowed to expire at 3:45 or maybe canceled a little bit before then. Heavier rain over here into the Paint Rock Valley has kind of fizzled around Gurley, Paint Rock, Woodville, just some lighter rain, a few rumbles of thunder. Taking to Jackson County, there is some heavier activity west of Stevenson. That thunder shower has come up pretty quickly here the last little bit. We'll keep an eye on that one. Don't think we have any sort of severe thunderstorm warning imminent, but if you're over here towards Stevenson, just be aware there's some heavier rain there back off to your west, some thunder and lightning, and maybe a little gusty wind with some of that activity. Morgan County, still have the heavier stuff here, now approaching Eva. Again, continue to move away from Decatur, Priceville. So this will work its way and build in the general direction of southeast Morgan County, northeast Coleman County. Over here in Marshall County, relatively quiet. There are still some showers trying to develop. New cell has gone up just west of Grant. Anything that's imminent in terms of severe weather with that, but some heavy rain. We'll be moving into, see, it really just popped up there pretty quick just in the last 10-15 minutes. So Grant, you may be about ready to get nice little downpour coming on through. If you need some water, maybe Mother Nature's going to provide for you. Quick update out here for you folks in the Shoals. Again, nothing's really gotten anything more active in this area. Small showers in the vicinity of Cherokee. We got a little bit of activity here west of Athens towards Coxey, just off of 72 there. A little thunder and lightning, nothing crazy. Lawrence County, a couple showers over the Bankhead National Forest there, a few others southeast of Moulton towards Speake. I thought that's where those were. And Franklin County, west of Phil Campbell, got a little shower here. So we kind of expand the view again. I don't think out in the shoals you're really going to have much to be real concerned about. If you are over in Sand Mountain, this is probably going to be where we're going to have the greatest concentration of storms and where there's going to be the greatest potential for perhaps some isolated severe weather. So let me just kind of circle here, I think, for the rest of the day. This is where I'll be watching the radar for the most part. Again, if you are over here in Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb County. DeKalb County, there's not much going on whatsoever, so don't think that you're done for the day. You know, we've got probably up until about 7 o'clock or so this evening. If we're going to continue to get some development of showers and thunderstorms, that's likely the time frame where we'll see new activity. And then beyond that, we'll watch existing activity gradually fade on away. So whatever we've got going on at 7 likely will be kind of the end of new development. So if we're going to get some additional strong and severe thunderstorm activity, the area I've got circled here, again, primarily Sand Mountain, Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb County, is going to be the most likely spot where we would see it. So if you're out towards the shoals, yeah, a little bit of pop-up shower activity and a few small downpours, but nothing that will likely be real widespread or significant, it would appear. And Huntsville, Madison, you know, we've already kind of had our rain for the day, so evening plans may not turn out to be too bad. It'll be a little humid, but we've trimmed the temperature back a bit as a result of some of that rain moving on through. Let's take a look at the numbers here. Yeah, so look at that. Huntsville International Airport, 76. On the flip side, we take you out to Muscle Shoals. Yet to see any rainfall. It's 96 there, 94 in Athens. Feels like temperatures in some cases above 100 again. Look at Guntersville. Sometimes that number is a little high in Guntersville for the heat index, 114. I don't know exactly where that weather station is located, but if it's anywhere close to the lake, that humidity sensor there obviously will pick up on that. So that's why sometimes we get some of these big heat index numbers there in that Guntersville observation. And I think that has to do with its proximity to the water. So 94 there, but at that particular location feeling like 114. Fort Payne, you're at 90, feeling like 97. But again, you see what the rain has done, places like Fayetteville and Huntsville, nice drop off back into the 70s in those spots. Again, here's the wide view. Severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect there for Lincoln County for a little bit longer. Although we've gotten no reports severe weather-wise out of there at the moment. And it looks like there was another strong storm there over Moore County in Tennessee, near Lynchburg, Jack Daniels territory. And that'll be building into parts of northeast Lincoln County, northwest Franklin County. Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning for Lincoln County, Tennessee, and northeast Madison County goes until 3:45. But again, so far, not heard of any reports of anything here. And the storm's kind of losing a little bit of its punch. The exception there is along the state line. Again, if you're in a hazel green, this is very, 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 very slowly, kind of propagating in your direction. So expect this to move into parts of Hazel Green. Let's see where the most active weather is here now across the state line into northern Madison County. Looks like Elkwood Section Road, Bobo Section Road, and of course 231. So those areas seeing the worst of the weather right now in Madison County. Just picked up a lightning strike. So it appears this cluster of storms, where we're kind of seeing the new development is in this part. And a little bit less intensity near the Flintville area. So we may either see maybe a readjustment of the warning box, but just be aware, at least here short term. Yeah, but even as I look here, don't think we necessarily have severe weather imminent. But that's kind of where the most substantial activity is showing up right now. So again, for you folks in Hazel Green, this is kind of building your direction. Northeast, Flintville, again, a little heavier in that spot as well. But the biggest storm action, or at least the heaviest rainfall, again, kind of developing a little bit closer to Hazel Green. So just a heads up for you folks in Hazel Green. Rain will pick up. Hopefully nothing more than that out of this. But right there on the state line is where things are the most active right now. You just saw the latest update. Also seeing a little bit more activity developing just here in the last little bit towards Elkwood. Again, this is just going back about 10 minutes or so. So quickly seeing showers and storms kind of going up there. So in this part of Madison County, we'll say Hazel Green, back towards Madison Crossroads. That's where we may see the next zone of development as this activity in southeast Lincoln County, a lot of it slowly starts to kind of fade away. Over here in Jackson County, again, still west of Stevenson, it's just not a lot of motion on this, just very, very slow. Looks like we got a new cell that's developed northeast of High Top, that one going up quickly along the state line. Some stuff starting to pop here now west of Fort Payne and a little off to the west of Gunnersville as well. And again, out here towards the Shoals, just nothing of any great concern right now. Again, I'd say here, if you're in northern Madison County now, kind of the area to watch. Right here, where we're likely to see things perhaps develop a little bit more, maybe fill in somewhat in this area. I don't think this will, low likelihood, and actually would be unlikely that this would be the beginning of another round that would come through the Huntsville area, as again, it's going to run into that rain-cooled air from the rain earlier. So mostly it's going to be in the undisturbed part here, Madison County, that I've got circled here. At least short term, we'll say the next 15-30 minutes, this may be the preferred zone of activity with heavier storms, heavy rainfall, and maybe a little gusty wind as well. As again, where our severe thunderstorm warning has drawn, a lot of that's kind of broken up, especially around Flintville towards Vantown. It's really kind of falling apart there in the middle. And we're seeing, again, new development in new areas. A new cell that's developed here near Arab. And we've got other activity there west of Fort Payne as well. All right, let me check the live stuff. The comments can mostly just people checking in. Glad to have the updates. Take a look at my page. And again, if you are, again, watching on social media, Facebook or YouTube, you can always ask questions in the comments. I will see those and periodically check. Obviously, you're watching other ways, either our streaming app or our other news and weather apps. We don't currently have a way to do two-way communication there. But anytime you ever have comments, feel free to chime in there. Now, obviously on the big severe weather days, we're not always going to be able to get to individual comments if we're tracking major severe weather. But certainly that's a way to chime in if you'd like to. All right. So another check here. We might wrap up the live update unless we've got, I don't see anything imminent. Mostly just some stronger storm activity there right now. And again, at the moment here in Lincoln County. Again, don't think we have any imminent severe weather showing up here, but northern Madison County, particularly in the vicinity of Hazel Green, back to Madison Crossroads, towards Newmarket. This is probably going to be the preferred zone of heavier thunderstorm activity coming on through. So with that in mind, we'll wait and see, again, what occurs over the rest of Sand Mountain for the rest of the day. So again, I think you folks, primarily Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb County in particular, still have a shot at some stronger storm activity coming through between now and we'll say 6, 7 o'clock tonight. And then it is going to wind down after that. Otherwise, again, we're not expecting widespread severe weather. These are summertime storms. They're going to pack a punch. That's just what they do because you've got so much moisture in the air. So these storms, they blow up quickly in the daytime heating. They're loaded up with water. And at some point, that water is going to come back down to the ground. And that's going to be in the form of just very, very efficient rain-producing thunderstorms. These are slow movers, so we will have to watch for localized flooding. Primarily street flooding, poor drainage areas will be the biggest concerns. It would take an extraordinary weather setup where we would have heavy storms kind of moving over the same areas for long periods of time to really have any sort of what I would consider high impact sort of flooding, which would be streams and creeks coming out of their banks. And maybe a little bit more of a life-threatening situation. So I don't see that. I see this more as poor drainage, low-lying areas, street flooding would be the biggest concern. But again, just something to be aware of with these heavier downpours moving through. Frequent lightning, yes, obviously that's very common with summer storms. Lightning an underrated killer. So obviously if you hear thunder, move indoors. That's just, just the easiest thing to do. Just don't take a chance. And again, in some cases, maybe some gusty wind. Some of these storms, when they go up fast, if they collapse very quickly as well, they can send out pushes of strong wind gusts. So that's our main severe weather concern, is that there could be some locally strong wind. And again, a few reports of some trees down, nothing that has showed up as widespread in any of the reports that I'm seeing at this point in time. So that's just kind of what we're going to be monitoring. Of course, we'll be coming up here at 4 o'clock on our regularly scheduled newscast, which you can watch, of course, over the air. But you can also watch our live stream during any of our newscasts on our website, waytv.com, and also on the Way 31 News and weather apps. You may not be aware, but we do have a streaming app. So if you've got your Apple TVs, you've got your Roku, you've got your Amazon Fire Stick or Amazon Fire TV, there is an app for Way 31 that you can find in the appropriate app store on those devices, and you can always watch our latest live stream there, whether it be weather or whether it be our current live newscast there, right there on your big screen at home as well. So if you didn't know that, now you do. Go download it, look for it, just search for Way 31 and you'll find it there in those various app stores. For now though, I think we're just going to kind of wrap things up. I'm going to put the radar back here full for you, show you the big picture again. Again, some pockets of thunderstorm activity out there. Occasionally, some of these organized enough that they are prompting some severe thunderstorm warnings, but having a little bit of difficulty kind of sustaining themselves for a long period of time. So just be aware of that. If you want to check in on the radar, you can do that on the Way 31 Storm Tracker weather app. You can access 31 Triple Doppler there, see what's happening relative to your location. And of course, if any weather alerts come out, you can set up the app to send those as a notification there on your phone. So of course, that is one way where you can always get those weather alerts when they come on out. Again, I think our preferred spot for storm activity where it's going to be most concentrated, maybe a little bit organized to the point to prompt some severe thunderstorm warnings, will be over northeast Alabama, Sand Mountain vicinity, portions of Marshall, Jackson, DeKalb County, probably our highest likelihood of seeing that, but again, perhaps nothing that will be necessarily widespread. So again, with that in mind, we're just going to kind of wrap up the live coverage, but again, we will have live weather updates coming up on our 4, 5, and 6 p.m. newscasts this evening, and I hope to see you there. Stay safe, keep an eye on the radar. We'll of course be doing the same.